Hey guys, for whoever does listen to this, I know that I re-listened to what my podcast was last night, and one thing I didn't mention was that I actually recorded that through like a audio transcriber app. So I was just doing it on my own accord, doing like a voice journal, I guess is what it's called. And that's kind of why they're like, it might not have made sense, because I'm like sitting there thinking and pausing and stopping. And I apologize for that. But essentially, I was trying to say that all shit aside, I felt like I took a step back and was able to view the human species as holistically working as one collective, whether we know it or not. So, for example, every human being on Earth, and this is just a theory or hypothesis or example, we're all, I guess, working towards expanding, the consciousness of the universe, or expanding our own knowledge in our species. Collectively, every individual works on something that helps the universe. Collectively, we are all, as a human species, working together to do some common goal, whether we realize it or not. But then I realized, okay, so that's big, that's macro, right? On the macro scale, we're all here to love, right? Let's just say that, love, and raise the vibration of the planet and ourselves. So let's this is where I think I am having issues explaining what's in my mind out loud. So, like an ant colony, they all work together towards building their ant colony home. Everyone has their own task, whatever. It's almost kind of like I see that in humans in various different groups or whatnot. So I don't want to use politics as the example, but it's an easy way to illustrate this point. Is, you have two parties, Democrat and Republican, right? Those who are Republican are more in alignment with the, Republican belief system, right? That consciousness, that is a sub-consciousness of the macro consciousness of just human beings as a whole. So does that make sense at all, where we have this big macro over all of us? We're all here to raise consciousness, that we're all working together, blah, 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 blah. And then we have we have a group of people on the right, group of people on the left. They believe different things. These are two different I don't even want to call them, they're two different distinct consciousness levels that we, people in these groups, we, us, everyone, whatever, it doesn't matter. It could be a cat lover group. It could be a dog lover group. It could really be anything. I just needed to get some, I guess, polarity in there between two opposing sides have two different, so imagine the example about us collectively working as a whole human species to raise the consciousness of the universe or Earth or whatever. Now, let's zoom in on that a little bit, and let's go a little bit more micro. And we go into the political parties. So we have left and right. The people who affiliate with the right and are affiliated on a different consciousness than those on the other side. That doesn't mean they're bad or good. It does not mean anything. It just means the perception as humans that we're having is aligned with whatever belief system or consciousness that we are in. So we are in multiple different collective consciousnesses, doctors, specific brain doctors, maybe, lawyers, criminal lawyers, you could just lawyers in general, right? We have the big macro, and then you go micro, and you go, criminal lawyer, personal injury lawyer. There's all different streams of consciousness, and then the people that are in these consciousness, collectives work as like on the micro, where they all have a role that they fulfill within the group, the collective, to meet this common goal. I really hope that made better sense than what I said last night. And this is like, I don't know how I just like thought of this, but yeah, I was watching a show, and I was honestly, I was seeing like people out like with signs protesting about something back in the day. And I was honestly, this was my thought, God damn, it looks so hot outside. Like, I don't want to be holding a sign up there. Like, damn, I don't want to do all that physical labor. Like, that's what I thought. I was like, gosh, I would never want to be like, I was like, I don't know if anything would really incline me to want to go like do that, just because I don't like physical labor, whatnot. That's just not for me. So then I thought, well, you know what? We need protesters, or we need those people that do want to be out there. And then we also need people who are doing, like I said, the researching and the investigation. And then you have people who are good with other people who should be more in like the front lines or around, and that's just using the protest as an example of collectively how we all work together in different roles to meet the goal of whatever collective consciousness we are in at that state. So I believe is my theory, Faith Anna Gold's theory, opinion theory, that we are constantly in and out, engaging in and out of different consciousnesses. And we might not be fully aware of it. Like, for instance, for me, like, shit, that's a bad example. I was going to give, like, an example about, like, the Nazis being bad, right? So that consciousness level of people that have that same belief system as me, we are all, that was a bad example, but I'm hoping that I'm getting closer to explaining what I'm trying to explain, because it is, for me, I don't even know if this is confirmable or not, but this just really seems to be, I don't know, it like came to me out of the blue, and it was just like, holy shit, there's these different subcategories and subsets of consciousness, and there's various levels, and we're always like, that's like, maybe that's that interdimensional, we're in 4D, 5D, or whatever the fuck they say, that we're constantly going in and out of these various dimensions or levels of consciousness and awareness, and not even really realizing it. And so with that said, like, I think that maybe there's multiple layers of various different frequencies of consciousness that we unknowingly tap into. Like, think about it as easy as this. If you play a sport, if you play basketball, if you play baseball or whatever, you and your team are all collectively working towards the same common goal. That's the little baseball collective consciousness. Like, that is what I'm saying. And I just really hope that made sense. And I appreciate that the people that, listen. Hey guys, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this latest episode. If you're interested in hearing the original podcast episode that I posted last night, then just stay put, because it's coming up next. It is 4:15 in the morning on my clock, exactly. That's my birthday, 4:15. So something just came into my head, and I just want to talk about it. I'm watching TV, and I'm seeing like stuff about like protests and so I'm looking at protests and like looking at the people protesting, and like kind of just trying to understand like why people actually like, feel so inclined to go out and protest, and like, what it serves, and if what good does it, bring and whatnot, because I never saw myself as someone who wanted to go out there and physically like protest. Even if I stand by the protesters, argument and agree with them, I still don't see myself ever really going out to do that. And that's not saying that I feel superior to those who do. And actually, I feel like it's opposite of that. More like I feel like we're a collective. And so we need protesters. We need those people who can go and show up and physically be there. And it just was kind of showing to me how humans almost like collectively work together as like a species, and maybe not even like realize it. So it's like maybe protesting isn't for me because maybe I need to be doing like investigating or researching or maybe I would be used better, or my talents would be better used in a different area, whereas other people, maybe they're more people friendly and are good at getting a crowd to stick around or whatever it may be. But it just kind of made me step back, and I'm just using this as an example of my kind of new perception of human beings collectively working as a species, where no one is better than anyone. Everyone is worth and equal and the same, and no one is above anyone in this universe. Like, oh, that bothers me. But because it takes everyone's power away to believe that you're not the most powerful thing alive or here or in existence. But you guys should check out my new poem I wrote about that. But it just, it made me see, like, how we see like ants working together for their ant colony and whatnot. It was like I kind of stepped back after seeing the protest, because I was like, I don't really understand why these people really want to go out and stand there and hold signs or whatever it may be, walk, sit in the heat. And I'm like, gosh, like I would much rather try doing something different in a way to make the same type of effect or change. And in a sense, then I'm thinking, well, we need the protesters, and then we need the researchers, and we need the investigators, and we need like all these different characters that all are formulating themselves to the same common goal at the end of the day. So yeah, there might be like various subsets of like the human. I think that there's an overall human species like collectively working towards raising the consciousness or whatever, for example. But then, like, as I said, like with these let's just say there's a protest about good and there's a protest about evil. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I just lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. And so there could be a protest about good and a protest about evil. And whatever your perception is, if you want to go to the good side rather than the evil side, then what you're doing is, I guess, collectively is your actions are working towards the collective of the good. Like you're with the good, collective, whereas the evil collective, they're working towards that evil collective. It's almost like these two groups, as I'm hypothetically theorizing this, these two groups have their own consciousnesses. That's fucking really interesting. I just thought of that. They all have their own different levels of consciousness in their own groups. Like consciousness can be almost like a big category, like the big, human species collective, like the big, like the ant colonies. When you talk about it like that, like the overarching goal is to keep the species alive, to grow our consciousness. And then there's subsets of it, You know, like, it could be as simple as people who are health nuts. You know, they might have some fucking, you know, consciousness that they're all collective to. Lawyers, doctors, cat lovers, dog lovers. There's subsets of consciousness that various people that we're either always in or that we can tap into and out of, and then that dictates how we behave towards that specific collective or particular group, or whatever I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh, this is really interesting. I'm glad I recorded this of myself. Okay, so I made it to 4:22 a.m. from 4:15. My birthday to 4:22, so 4-4. All right, guys, see ya. Well, to me, love you, girl.